new, and if you are new, please don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see, and click that bell to get notifications from me. Look what I have for today's video. It is the newest Natasha Denona palette, the bronze palette, and just so you know, this is not my palette. It is actually my cousin's, but she did go ahead and let me know that I can use it brand spanking new. So I will be doing 4 looks for you guys today using this palette, but probably after that I won't be using it because I will be sending it off to her. And I'm super excited to be using a Natasha Denona palette. I've never used any Natasha Denona. All I know is that it's very high-end, very luxurious. The shadows are supposed to be very nice. If you do want to know more about Natasha Denona formula or Natasha Denona palettes, I know my girl here, Gabby from GAB&GLAM, she does amazing looks and she talks a lot about Natasha Denona. I know she is a big fan of her, so go check out her video. She actually did a look using this palette not too long ago, so I'll leave her video down in the description. And guys, make sure to leave a comment thanking my cousin for letting me use her palette for this video. Mil gracias, Mariana, en verdad. Muchísimas gracias. Estoy eternamente agradecida por haberme dejado usar tu paleta. I did go ahead and I brushed my brushes just so that they're clean. I don't want to be going all in there with my dirty brushes. And of course, my fingers and my hands are clean. Mis brochas, mis manos están limpias. I also had already in mind that I wasn't going to do swatches, but she told me just do them. She said, don't worry about it. You're my cousin. It's fine. It's cool. So, hey. So let's go ahead and get with the swatches first. This is what it looks like. Brand new. Look at all those beautiful colors. And I will be doing my swatches from left to right, and then second row, third row. We have True Copper, wow, Suntan, Sundown, Deep Dive, and Rhodium. Second row we have Magma, High Degree, Alloy, Ridge, and True Bronze. From this one on is the second row. I should have started off a little bit higher so it could be like this way, but I'm gonna have to do the third row up here. This is Glowing, Palladium, Bliss, Silk, and Beach. So let's go ahead and move on to the 4 looks. When I do try out a new palette, I like to just not prime, not put on concealer on my eyelids just to see how these shadows perform without it just by themselves. For look number 1, I decided to go with like a traditional bronzy type of look, very simple to do. So I started off with the shade Beach with a fluffy brush and applying that to my crease, just with back and forth motions to make sure I have that nice blend. Then next, picking up the shade True Bronze with my finger and applying that to my eyelid. And it is such a beautiful shade and it went on so smoothly. And then I did have to go in with a brush just to get into the smaller part of my eye that I can't get in with my finger. And then to give the look some dimension, I'm picking up the shade Suntan and applying that to the outer part of my eye, like the outer V, and making sure that I'm blending this shadow in with those previous 2 that I applied earlier. And then here I'm picking up a little bit more of that True Bronze shade and then just applying it, and it just helps with that blending process, and then just taking that Suntan shade, just swirly, and now it looks nice and smoky. And then whatever was left on my brush, I went ahead and I dragged that along my lower lash line. Picking up that first brush that we used, I wiped it off, and then here I'm just running it along the exterior of those shadows to make sure it's nice and blended, nothing harsh. And then here I'm just finishing my eyes by fixing my eyebrows, and then here I did add my traditional wing liner. I can't live without it, you guys know I love it. And then curled my lashes and of course applied mascara. And that is the completed look number 1. Moving on to look 2, I am beginning with the shade Sundown and with a fluffy brush as well, and I'm applying this to the inner part of my crease. Again, using that windshield wiper type of motion to make sure it's nice and blended up there. And for my other half of my crease and for the outer V, I'm going in with Suntan to darken it up. Going back in with a tiny bit of Sundown just to make sure that those colors are nice and blended. I applied a little bit more to the crease just so it can stand out, and then applying it to mesh those colors together. And then here I'm picking up the shade Bliss. Such a beautiful pink shade. I think out of all of them, this has to be my favorite because I just love pink. But I'm applying this to the inner part of my eyelid. And then with that same brush, just wiped it off a little bit, going in with High Degree, and then applying that to the second half of my eyelid. Ooh, look at that. Do you guys see how gorgeous these shadows are? Like, they're performing really well. I am very much impressed. Going back in with a little bit more of Bliss, just again to help with the blending between those two colors. And then finally, to deepen up this look a little bit more, I went in with the shade Magma and concentrated this to my outer V. And then I also went ahead and applied that Magma shade to my lower lash line. And making sure that once I have the pigment there, I go in with a clean brush to make sure that I blend it all out so that it looks nice and blown out, nice and smoky. And then here is what the look looks like with just mascara, but I felt like since this was like very smoky and sultry, I decided to add lashes. And so here is look number 2. For look 3, I'm beginning with the shade Rich onto my crease. This is going to be our transition color. And then here I am picking up the shade Rhodium, and this is going to go to the outer portions of my eyelid as well as the inner portions of my eyelid. And this shade is another one of those shades. It's just so beautiful, and it has like these beautiful reflex. I don't know how to describe it, but I also fell in love with this shade. And then taking that first brush we used for this look, just cleaned it off and just to give it a quick blend. And then next, picking up with my finger the shade Alloy and applying that to that empty space that I had there in the middle between that Rhodium shade. And then I did end up using a really super tiny brush because I felt like it got the detail a lot better than my finger. And then I just went back and forth maybe like twice or 3 times with the shade Rhodium and with the shade Alloy just to give them that nice blend, give it a nice, what do you call it? A gradient. And then moving on to lower lash line, I went in with the shade Deep Dive and then just really closely applied that to my lower lash line. And then I did go ahead and I winged this out to connect it with that Rhodium shade. And then later on you can see how I blended that those 2 shades in together, but I did go ahead and wing it out all the way. Here is the clean brush just to make sure there's no harsh lines. Oh, and here is where you can see that I blended the Rhodium and the Deep Dive shade together. And then I did apply a black liner to my waterline, and that is look number 3. Fourth and final look, I'm beginning with the shade Beach with a fluffy brush, and I'm just applying that to my eyelid. I'm stamping it on to get that pigment. And once you are satisfied with the amount of pigment you have on your eyelid, go ahead and blend it upwards into your crease. And then I just took a clean fluffy brush just to ensure that the blend is nice and seamless how we like it. And then next, picking up the shade Silk with a tiny brush, applying this to my inner corner, and this shade is super soft. A lot of these shades are really soft, but this was one that was super soft, like really soft. And then I am taking an angled liner brush, and I'm picking up the shade Gloaming, and I'm using this to do like an eyeliner, a winged eyeliner with this shade. I also went ahead to use this shade on my lower lash line and connecting those wings together, bottom and top. And there you go, look number 4. Alright guys, that was all for the 4 looks using the newest Natasha Denona bronze palette. I am truly and honestly impressed by this. I think I did mention earlier, I have never tried a Natasha Denona palette, so this experience was very nice. The shadows were very easy to blend. Now I understand the price on this now because it is super high quality. If you guys have not tried a Natasha Denona palette, maybe this is a good start because it is very neutral. You can of course go a little bit darker, you can go more neutral. I tried to vary it up in the look so you can see like what varieties you can do with it if you just play around. It is $65 for this palette. You do get how much? 15 shades. But honestly, they all work really well. I didn't use all of them in the looks, but even in the swatches that I did, very nice guys, very nice. I did very much enjoy using this palette, and now I'm very sad it has to go to its owner. Pero otra vez, gracias Mariana, gracias prima, por haberme dejado usar la paleta de Natasha Denona. La calidad, los colores y todo lo que tiene que ver con esta paleta, hermoso. Estoy súper impresionada. Una buena decisión. Let me know down in the comments which of the 4 looks was your favorite. Please don't forget to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys soon.